Hello everyone, welcome to the Logical Fallacy. My name is Sean and welcome to another special video. It's finally out. I've actually been anticipating this one for a while, ever since Chapter 2 came out, but Game Theory just released The Monster in the Shadows, a Poppy Playtime Chapter 2 Game Theory. Now, I actually have a lot of theories of my own, so after this video, if you guys want to go and comment below if you guys are interested in hearing some of my thoughts, or anything like that. I definitely have some theories, but I'll probably discuss some in this video. It's a series that I'm pretty invested in and pretty excited about. So let's get into it. Let's not waste any more time. As you can tell, my voice is a lot better. That's because you guys subscribed, and we got a few more subscribers, and I told you guys, the more subscribers we got, the better my voice would be, and here we are. So thank you guys. Here we go. Sit now. I don't. That's not good. Chapter 2, man, it was so creepy. Did I?
But hey, that's just a theory, right?
Oh gosh. Alright, game theory's dead. So guess we have to click off the theory now. No. Let's keep watching.
Hello Internet, welcome to Game Theory.
Hello MapPath! And welcome to a reaction of your video.
The show that's been popular for 11 years but still hasn't landed a movie deal. Don't know why I felt like
Gosh darn it.
on a completely unrelated
Does he want a movie?
finally saw the release of Poppy Playtime Chapter 2 Fly in a Web. And this thing was longer than a tech demo, so hey, big wins over
Hey.
one. But no, the team wasn't content to stop there. Poppy Playtime's newest chapter went above and beyond.
It was really good.
Not just one, but two different gameplay styles. Whack-a-mole and Simon Says.
Blue! Yellow! We're violet! Ah! Every game is required to have a Simon Says segment for
I love Simon Says.
Of course, being facetious about the whole thing, this new chapter actually offered a lot of awesome stuff. Cool puzzles, thrilling chases, and an oversized plush toy failing to pull a lever. So adorable. I could sit here and watch that all day. Oh, and there are also collectible trophies now. Really challenging collectible
Nice.
trophies that'll push you to the limits of your gamer senses.
any secret trophies or anything that we see up there.
That's great.
Gameplay innovation or the collectibles, it's for the
I'll interrupt him there. It's for the lore!
hidden notes and cryptic clues.
Okay, well, I said it better.
Ourselves some lore to decipher.
There we go.
Spoiler alert, Poppy isn't who we thought she was.
Is it?
This is what you need to know to
Is
understand.
it the double poppy theory?
Focused on us, the player, returning to an abandoned toy factory in order to save some employees that went missing there 10 years ago. We're told via a mysterious note that we have to find the flower. Several
Yeah.
puzzles and one giant Muppet chase later, we find the flower in the form of a giant wall mural of a poppy. Inside is a replica.
Yeah, and we don't find our coworkers. But if you look there,
Later, we find the flower in the form of
yeah, what do we find? Yeah, a bunch of toys hanging by a thread. Yeah, we don't find our coworkers, do we? Or do we? Think we might.
wall mural of a poppy. Inside is a replica
Run.
of a house and a doll named Poppy Playtime, locked away inside of a glass case. And of course, we set her free without a second thought because players of video games have never seen a horror movie before.
Absolutely.
Chapter 2 picks up
Set her
immediately.
free!
Poppy agrees to help us activate a train that'll help us get out of the factory. So much for wanting to help save those missing employees, but hey,
Yeah.
creepy talking doll starts offering me ways to not be around the creepy talking doll. I'm gonna take that offer. But of course, things are never quite that easy. Mommy Longlegs, a giant stretchy toy spider, takes Poppy hostage and forces us to play 3 minigames in her game station in order to unlock each part of the train's
And they were so hard! If you guys want to watch me play Poppy Playtime, go. I played the Chapter 1 and Chapter 2 on my channel, so please check out. And also subscribe, like, and comment below if you like this so far. Oh, I muted.
us through a narrow escape sequence. Where have I seen something like that before. In the end, she gets caught in a grinder.
I mean, classic horror.
Mysterious claw. We rescue Poppy, get on the train, but surprise!
It's the prototype.
Betrays us, crashing the train and forcing us even deeper into the factory. So
Oh,
those
yes.
are the highlights from the chapter, but we're still left with a lot of overarching questions. Who are we? Where are these missing employees we're so concerned about? What's the
They're
true
dead.
nature of the toys, and who's secretly pulling the strings behind all of this? Well, I think I have the answers to each and every one of those questions.
Oh, yes. All right, we got a list. Awesome. We're going to check each one of those off.
Probably the best place to start.
Who's pulling the strings?
After defeating Mommy, we see her remains get dragged away by a mysterious claw.
Prototype 1006.
Burn Trap's claw. Yeah, kind of. Burn Trap's claw. You see, the design we see pull Mommy away is very different from all the other designs that we've encountered in the game so far. Most of the toys that we fight are brightly colored, made of plastic or fur, and, you know, look like actual toys. This thing, though, is dark, mechanical, and could poke your eye out. It's like an erector set on steroids. If you zoom in and enhance
Aw,
the
man.
image of the claw, you can actually make out that there's organic material mixed in there. Bone,
Yes.
maybe even some veins.
Which, actually, you don't just see it there. In the VHS tape, you also see that exact design, and you can see it in the image, in the background. So, not the only place. You don't have to just go out of bounds to see this. It's in the VHS tape, or prototype.
Whatever you want, it isn't that much of a joke. But what is this biomechanic hybrid doing within the context of Poppy? Well, back in chapter 1, we discovered
Gotta have that FNAF reference.
which cataloged the
Yep.
results of experiment 1006, nicknamed the prototype.
Final log. In relation, experiment 1006. The prototype. Coordination and cooperation is evidently within his skill set, as well as the skill set of all other experiments of his type.
This, along with a death screen that said experiment 1006 isn't he wonderful, led us to believe in a previous theory that our big blue boy Huggy Wuggy was the prototype.
Nope.
Since, you know, he was kind of the only character that we met in chapter 1, Occam's razor and all that. However, take a look at the hand on the TV screen that we see.
Yep, there it is. That was what I was talking about.
See that hand appear again in yet another VHS tape in chapter 2.
Log code 08502. In relation,
Oh, that's cool.
Experiment 1006. The prototype. The prototype seems to possess an unprecedented level of intelligence beyond that of all other test subjects, as well as an
Pretty interesting tape.
commit violence. Experiment 1170. Huggy Wuggy remains the optimal outcome due to his sufficient intelligence paired with maximum obedience.
Oh yeah, he's obedient and also terrifying.
Obviously, this outright tells us that Huggy isn't experiment 1006, and that it's instead the owner of this mysterious claw. So that's what the prototype is, but what makes it so special? Well, during that same VHS tape, we also hear how the prototype takes apart an alarm clock and uses it to make a laser pointer. In short, it's smart and it's able to repurpose things, which would explain
Recycle.
the concern in this moment. She's gonna be reused and repurposed by this entity in order to help them.
Yeah, pretty dark.
Makes you wonder if the veins and bones were how this creature was originally designed, or maybe that's what happened to all the other missing.
And also, if you look around the factory from Chapter 2 and Chapter 1, you see a bunch of toys ripped apart. I wonder who did that. I think that's pretty much confirmed now to be the prototype.
Their bodies were added to the machine. It's interesting. In our last theory, we predicted that Mommy Longlegs would be adding the bodies of dead toys to herself in order to become stronger. We were right about the concept, just looks like we were wrong.
Wrong character.
Applied to. As for how this thing is going to wind up looking, anyone remember Sid from Toy Story 1? Sounds like we might have found one of his creations. So,
Oh, yeah.
looks like the prototype 1006 is going to be our overarching villain for the franchise, taking
Potentially.
parts of the other toys and maybe even pieces and parts of other people to grow stronger. That being said, one toy that doesn't appear to have been added to the prototype yet is Huggy Wuggy. He may
That's
be
because he's still alive.
chapter, but hints of him are hidden around. When you go into the chapter's water treatment room, if you look carefully, you can see some blue fur that's scattered around the pipes alongside trails of blood. This appears to be the room that Huggy fell through at the end of the last chapter, and would seem to imply that Huggy picked himself up and went full-on sus mode by venting away, waiting to
Oh.
return until a future chapter.
He vented.
Honestly makes sense. He can't die yet. He's basically the mascot of the franchise. Who even cares about Poppy at this point? I mean, me. I do because I'm bored, but I feel like
Boar!
Speaking of Poppy, let's talk about her, shall we? I mean, it is her name on the title screen after
True.
all. This isn't Kissy Missy playtime or Cat Bee playtime, you know? Well, mere hours after chapter
Bunch of interesting looking characters.
did what the fan community gonna do dug into the game files. And by doing so, they discovered an early build of this chapter hidden away. And while the game itself is still basically the same, the end is where things get real interesting. Normally, you get on the train and Poppy gives you this sinister speech about how you're not allowed to leave. She betrays us and sends us hurtling deeper into the factory for reasons that are kept pretty darn vague.
Yeah.
Terrible things have happened, but I know that whatever I need you to do, you're capable.
However, in the cut version of this monologue, we actually get a bit more detail on her motivations.
You have so much potential. I know you came to find the ones who had disappeared all those years ago, but they're gone.
Oh, they're dead.
Gone for a long time. Terrible things have happened, and I am the cause.
Oh,
Being able to exist as a doll, it has killed so many people.
Now,
Oh, dear.
Content is always going to be a tricky science. Do you use it? Do you not? How do you use it? Here, I'm only pointing it out because this seems to confirm one of our original theories, that Poppy is the reason all of this is happening. She literally says that because she was able to exist as a doll, people...
well, I think the interpretation there is that, like, we found out that the creator, Ludwig, whatever, Göransson, or not, no, that's a composer. Ludwig, there's so many Ludwigs. Ludwig von Beethoven, Ludwig Göransson, they're all composers. But anyways, Ludwig, enter last name here, he is the one who basically lost someone vaguely, and basically used the poppy flower to create Poppy, which presumably is his daughter. And so that does mean that but I think he went a step further and capitalized on that and started manufacturing realistic looking toys, as is kind of inferred upon the large amounts of manufactured toys with blood. So.
died, which tells us two things. One, that she's been around since the very beginning.
And yes, that is true.
The experimentation that's being done on humans. She's witnessed it all. Yes, FNAF, we hear you. You're very special. Secondly, though, it seems to tell us that Poppy...
You can't go an episode without FNAF.
Loyal theorists will remember that last time we predicted that former employee Stella Graber was the person who's...
That's pretty much confirmed to be false.
We found a VHS tape talking about her desire to stay young and her love of children.
She may be Kissy Missy, potentially.
However, after the clues seeded out in this chapter, we know for a fact that she's no longer a candidate. When we first enter the game station, we're greeted...
Because canon-wise, you know, we don't know if Kissy Missy actually existed up to this point that this was recorded, so it's possible that Stella's Kissy Missy.
Outlining how to test children using the various game station modules. Quote, give all reports to Ms. Stella Graber to sort through. So Stella was clearly involved with whatever experimentation was going on at Playtime Co. And since these experiments were started because the living doll Poppy existed in the first place, Stella can't be Poppy. In that document, we also see references to Mommy Longlegs. Now, if you look closely at the Mommy Longlegs commercial that plays at the top of the chapter, you can see that it's dated 1991. Poppy was meant to be the first living toy developed back in 1950.
Yeah.
Therefore, if Stella was alive around the time of Mommy Longlegs, then she couldn't possibly be inside Poppy. So, if Poppy isn't Stella, then who is she? Well, early in Chapter 2, we visit Elliot Ludwig's office. Founder of
Elliot Ludwig, there we go.
He experienced a tragic family loss sometime in the 1960s.
In the 19
Also not Ludwig.
fortunate family death had
Yep, here we go.
down to his lowest.
This loss is what spurred him to work harder and build an empire around his toys. Now, it's not actually clear who this family member was. You would suspect his kid, right? Kid dies or is dying and he finds a way to make her into a living toy. Yeah, I am broken. I will put you back.
Oh my goodness, stop the FNAF references! Or don't, it's...
Stop trying to butt into other people's narratives, okay? Other people's very similar narratives. Anyway, as I was
At this point, it's just kind of the industry standard.
That's who Poppy is. It's his daughter. But there's a wrinkle to that, and it's not coming from the game, but rather the game's website.
Uh-oh.
We know via a newspaper article hidden on the About section of Playtime Company's merch website that Elliot's wife divorced him in 1930. This means that if a child came from that relationship, that biological son or daughter would have been in their 20s or 30s when Poppy was created. It seems a bit old, to be honest. The loss...
Yeah, but, I mean, we don't know if Poppy's a child.
The option was that it was an adopted daughter. In chapter 1, we see
That is actually a possibility, and yes, it does kind of fit.
What if that program was initially started because Elliot had an adopted child himself, and he wanted to bring that joy to other families, thereby modeling it in those Playtime Company values. And then, when his daughter dies or is suffering, he, has to find a way to put her back together. So, his adopted child dies tragically, and he tries something to revive her, probably by fusing her with Poppy. And it works. Something he does works. She's in the doll, but he's not exactly sure what he did. Might I suggest trying Remnant? Or Agony? Sorry, I'm just going out of my way to do it. Anyway, we know that he's unsure based on a note that we find in Elliot's office in chapter 2. This note talks about experiment 814, in which they try to bring rats back to life using the poppy flower. My suspicion is that this is because he was somehow able to revive his daughter inside of Poppy, a doll who we're told has the essence of poppy flower built into her hair. This is also why we find Poppy hidden in the glass case. It's so his daughter can be preserved, protected, and also studied.
No. No, I don't think that's correct. Honestly, it was pretty inferred on the line at the end, whenever we were going down the train, that Poppy stated that Mommy put her in the case. When she said, she might have put me back in there again. Confirming that she probably originally was, meaning that Mommy probably is some sort of also parental figure over the experiments, which have been confirmed through other pieces of information. So I don't think that he put her in there, but I might be wrong. That's just not disagreeing, but also disagreeing.
Because he saw it was possible, and then he went on to repeat it, which is why he's so happy about his wonderful experiment 1006, the prototype. After nearly 200 additional experiments post poppy flowers and rats, this is where he finally cracks the code. He's brought things to life, but the prototype is too smart. It escapes and doesn't obey orders, sending the factory into chaos. This is why we hear that Huggy Wuggy is actually the perfect creation, because he's smart, but he's also obedient.
Experiment 1170, Huggy Wuggy, remains the optimal outcome due to his sufficient intelligence paired with maximum obedience.
And that, my friends, is the story of how everything started at Playtime Co. We now know that Elliot Ludwig's adopted daughter is like...
I'm guessing there's going to be a part 2.
And that our overarching villain for the series is the prototype, the first successful recreation...
Didn't he only answer one of the questions?
...something back to life. A toy that steals and uses the pieces of...
It's going to be 4 parts to this.
...stronger. But there's still lots more to discover.
Yes.
Who or what is inside the other toys? Are they enemies or are they something else?
Probably adopted kids.
Screens that we see each time we die. What are they trying to tell us? If people are inside of toys, then what about the prototype? Is it someone important, or is it just a random collection of people? And probably the biggest question of all, who are we in relation to all of this? I suspect that I may have figured out our character's name and possible role in the company, but answers to that and more we'll have to wait for next time.
Oh, yeah.
I have a few other things that I want to double check inside the game first. So make sure you grab pack.
All right. Gotta check your work. Get it. I get it.
Chapter 2's coverage when it comes
Insert spooky caption. Nice. Oh. Yep, we forgot he died at the beginning. Alright, that was his theory on Game Theory, The Master in the Shadow. Now, a lot of that wasn't really news to me. I've watched a couple other theories that have come out previously from like Horoscope and Gamersalt and stuff like that. But honestly, like, that was pretty interesting. I've got to say, like, I disagree with some of his stuff, like the stuff with like Poppy being how she got in the case. It's obvious that I think that Mommy put her in there first, which kind of suggests that like she was kind of in charge of keeping them safe and out of trouble, and as she was in the game area. Also, this is gonna make the video really long for me to just kind of spout all my theories. So if you guys want me to, I can make a separate video, kind of just me talking a little bit about my thoughts on the game generally, and also other stuff or anything. But for right now, I think this was really good. It's kind of just a start. I'm excited really to get to his second theory, which I think is going to have a lot more meat, because this wasn't really new information to me, but might have been to you guys. And I'm glad that we got to like have this time to be able to have an excuse to discuss this once again, because I think this game's very interesting. I appreciate it. I like it as a game. But thank you guys so much for joining me. Please like, subscribe. We are almost to 100 subscribers. We are 12 people away. That is insane. I've only had my channel up for like little more than 2 months, 3 months somewhere, right? Or no, like a month. It's been like a month and a couple weeks or something like that. I don't know. Anyways, you guys have been overwhelming support for this channel, and I appreciate that. You guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you guys next time.